I am SM Sharik, PGT Physics in KV number 3 Jhansi. Today I will discuss about Kepler's laws of planetary motion. Kepler's laws of planetary motion. Kepler gave three laws. First is, this is known as Kepler's first law of orbit. First law of orbit. According to this, all planets move around the sun in elliptical orbit, and sun situated at one foci of this elliptical path. We suppose the planet is moving along a elliptical orbit. This is the planet P, and sun is situated at one foci of the ellipse. So, the which planet is near the sun, it moves faster than the planet which is far away. Now, the Kepler's second law. It is also known as law of area. According to this, law, the line joining the planet and the sun sweeps equal area in equal interval of time. So, the planet it is sun, it is the planet. That planet is at P. Suppose in delta t time it comes at P dash. So, area is this. Again in another delta t time it comes at P double dash. So, area SP P dash and SP dash P double dash are equal, and we can say also aerial velocity of planet is constant around the sun. Aerial velocity means time rate of change of area of the planet around the sun. We can also write in this way: delta A, if area swept in delta t time, so delta A upon delta t is constant. Now I will discuss Kepler's third law of period. Third law, it is also known as law of period. According to this, the square of time period of revolution of planet around the sun is directly proportional to cube of semi-major axis or average distance of planet and sun. If t is time period and r is average distance, then t square is directly proportional to r cube, or t square is equal to k r cube. K is some constant. So understand, now I will discuss universal law of gravitation. According to universal law of gravitation, every body of the universe attract each other with the force which is directly proportional to the square of distance between them, and inversely every body in the universe attract each other with a force which is directly proportional to the product of masses and inversely proportional to square of distance between them. So suppose there are two bodies of mass m1 and m2. One body is A, another body is B. The separation between them is suppose r. Separation is taken from the center of the bodies. Then force of attraction is directly proportional to product of masses and inversely proportional to square of distance between them. So combining equation 1 and 2, we will get, or F is equal to some constant g upon r square, where g is universal gravitational constant. Its value is found by a scientist, Cavendish. Its value is 6.67 into 10 to the power minus 11, and its unit is Newton meter square kg minus 2. Its dimension we can also find. G is equal to Fr square by m1 m2. So dimension of F is mlt minus 2. It is the force. It is L square upon m into m. Then we will get m inverse L cube t minus 2. We can define it also that if R is equal to 1 unit, m1 is equal to m2 is equal to 1 unit, then G is equal to F. So, universal gravitational constant is that force of attraction between two bodies of unit mass separated by unit distance. Vector form of Newton's law of gravitation. Vector form of law. Suppose there are two bodies, m1, m2. Separation between them r12 unit vector from m1 to m2 and r21 from m2 to m1. So, the forces are attractive. So, m2 will attract towards itself and m1 will attract m2 towards itself. So, force applied by body 2 on 1 will be G m1 m2 upon r square, and direction is r12 unit vector. F21 is force acted by mass m2 on m1. Similarly, F12 will be minus G m1 m2 by r square and r21 vector. So, we can F21 is equal to minus F12 because R12 unit vector is equal to minus R21 unit vector. So, what is the use of vector form of gravitation, universal gravitational law? That it gives direction and it verifies the Newton third law. Now gravitational constant, how it is determined? It is Cavendish experiment. Cavendish take one rod of length L and suspended by a wire through a rigid support. The lead shot are attached at two ends, each of mass small m. Now he take two big lead balls of mass m. So this greater mass will attract small mass m, due to which a torque will applied. And this torque is force into perpendicular distance between them, to perpendicular distance. So this force will be Gmm by, suppose distance between them is small d, into perpendicular distance is length of the rod L. If we know the torque per unit twist, of suspended wire, let it is C for theta twist, torque will be C theta. So C theta is equal to L. So we can find G is equal to C theta d square upon. So these all values are known. C is known, theta d, and m, small m and L are known. So we can find G, and it comes approximately 6.67 into 10 to the power minus 11. So today in next turn we will discuss further in this chapter. So thank you.